And Arizona should be an exciting night of gymnastics here at the Coliseum. Back with the first rotation after this in Morgantown. Stay with us on ESPN+. Albin, so good to have a senior in that leadoff spot, and Brooke Albin does that on vault and bars for West Virginia, Erica.
She does, and last week she scored a career high of a 9.8.
Season best. She's been good on every apparatus this year. 9.8 as a season best on uneven bars. 9.8, 2.5, and 4. All of those have come in the month of February, which we will end after tonight. Brooke Albin gets us rolling here in Morgantown.
Wow, what a landing. Great start.
And immediately the plunger hat.
Slight bent arms, but that stick. Start off her senior meet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm sure there's extra nerves last meet here at the Coliseum, but she didn't show it there. Over to bars, Arizona will lead things off with one of their best performances as well. Emily Muller, the senior from Cary, North Carolina, season best of a 9.825 on bars.
Beautiful transition, overshoot handstand. On bars, we're really looking for handstands, landings, transitions. That was a beautiful handstand, great landing.
Boy, if this is the tone we're gonna have all night, this is gonna be a really good meet.
Look at that handstand. She even holds it at the top. That's awesome. Small little hop. Can't say that the judges will give a deduction for that, but I'm not sure.
Mountaineers have Caitlin Toohey on deck. Taylor Toohey on the year has been good in this event, 9.775, her season best.
Another Yurchenko full. Love the amplitude, a little pikey down, but overall another strong ball.
Another look. Congratulations for her teammates after that one, and then we'll move back over to bars. Second competitor for Arizona. Much like West Virginia, going from a veteran to a freshman, Aubrey Kronfeld, 9.85, her season best back on January 26th. Final instructions being given for her. Fist bump, she's ready to go here after a 9.8 in the leadoff spot for Arizona's Emily Muller. Saw Brooke Albin score there, a 9.75 for Albin. Up goes Aubrey Kronfeld. Mesa, Arizona native, so in-state competitor for this Gymcats team.
Great transition. Double leg dismount. Oh! Her chest was forward just a little bit, so she had to take that step right at the end.
That's so much of what they're working on this time of year, right? Just getting those little details on landings right, but otherwise a good routine.
Yes, it all comes down to those little details. Pointed toes, hit handstands, landings.
We mentioned earlier the improvement that West Virginia has gotten out of a senior in Anna Lee. Emerson Smith was another gymnast that Jason Motzerly.
Little hop at the end, but
should be a really good routine coming up here. You see the score for Sophie Durr on the year, sophomore from Frisco, Texas. Really something that we can say about both these teams is a lot of young talent, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores stepping into major roles to augment what the veterans are giving these two teams.
Yes, I agree. The seniors on Arizona's team, there's two seniors that compete all around, and then there is a sophomore that competes all around. That's huge for each event to compete all around.
Sophie Durr goes up. Yeah, I mean, half your scores are filled if those all-arounders do their jobs.
Absolutely. Little close on that release. She's a very pretty swinger. Just the dismount. Very high full in. Lifts her chest up just a little too early on that dismount, so she has to take a tiny step back.
Pair of 9/8 in front of her for Arizona. They've really started this rotation well on bars where they are strong. 23rd in the nation, averaging 49.105. Carly Nelson up next for West Virginia. You see the scores in front of her. Brooke Albans, 9.75, leading the way for West Virginia, who put up their best vault score of the year last week.
I love her extension in her hips as she's going through the full twist. I think last week she stuck that little bit of more amplitude.
3 straight 9/8 on bars for Arizona. Set the table for Abigail Martin, sophomore from Texas. See her season best of a 9.85, has a 9.975 as a freshman last year.
Toe on, toe off, toe on, shapash. We're looking to finish those handstands and pirouettes. Pirouettes 20 degrees vertical. Handstands are 10 degrees. Nice height on that double lay.
Arizona 4 for 4, 4 excellent bar routines.
Yep. As you can see in this double lay, look how it rises above the bar. She even flares out at the end. Her chest is down just a little bit, so she has to take that tiny step.
Big smiles for DiCello, the plunger hat in her hand. Now she's giving that every time there's a stick.
I don't think they want to wear it on their heads anymore.
I feel like the hairstyles make
I
it
was just going to say, yep.
To kind of make that stick, no pun intended.
Yeah.
9-7. The 4th score for Arizona on bars. Their 5th competitor up right now is Elena Dietz, 5th year from Maple Grove, Minnesota. 9.925 in this event this year.
Very pretty lines. She said that this is her favorite year so far because of the team atmosphere. Another beautiful lay.
Elena Dietz finishing up. And Carly DiCello with a 9.825 as we take another look at this bar routine.
I think this is Arizona's first stick. You can really see her push down the floor and stay there before she even salutes to make sure that she really sticks that.
So DiCello setting the tone for the Mountaineers with her previous ball in a 9.825. Sophia Rice, hometown girl, freshman. We'll finish things up for West Virginia.
West Virginia's finished a little low. That vault.
Yeah.
So that's why it looked a little even with the horse.
So West Virginia finishes their first rotation. Arizona will sit up their final competitor, and we mentioned her in the open, Allison Fears. All around, fits her as well as her title. She's good at everything. I thought what struck me about her all around last week, she puts up that 39.3. Wasn't like she had a 9.9 or 9.95 in there. She just was very good across all 4 events, just putting up consistently strong scores.
She is consistent. Her lines are beautiful. That clear hip handstand. What a fight. That is a big fight right there. You do not want to take a fall.
Another look at Fears' bar routine.
It's a good dismount. Her Tkachev was huge. Absolutely huge.
Mountaineers will exhibition Jaden McDonald on vaults. See Jessica Yamson in the background, Mountaineer assistant coach. Kind of words of instructions. Mountaineers with a 48.675 you see on vault. That beats their season average. Does not beat their season best, but able to creep that up a little bit. They came in 50th in the nation on vaults. 9-7, so trying to put some pressure on the other 6 in the lineup.
Yep. I do have to say, I think Brooks' score is a little low.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
You take a look at those, I agree with you. I thought the landing was excellent. I thought the vault was good. I was surprised to see that. But I think it kind of set the tone where I feel like the Mountaineers got lower scores than I was expecting. The cello may be an exception. She was excellent with a 9.825.
Yes, that was a phenomenal vault by her.
9.575 the score for Fears. So that will be the score that Arizona drops on bars, a 48.875 for them on bars, a little bit below their season average of 49.105. Exhibition now up for the Gym Cats on bars.
Nice starter there, straight into a double tuck. Rotation of the dismount wasn't all the way around, so she did have to take that hop at the end. But this is why we do exhibitions.
You can see why she's on the cusp of the lineup, though. Good routine, just has to finger herself those keywords to visualize this routine.
Locking in for sure.
LaRusso getting that final stretch in on vaults. Gets the chalk off her hands. Deep breath from her. Step back off the mat, and off she goes to
use those legs at the end, not to take another step.
Teammates beautifully synchronized there with their arms above their heads after that landing. Here's Brooke Albin. See her season best there of a 9.8. That's a 9.875 that came in March of 2 years ago as a sophomore.
Clear up handstand, she does a ginger. Good distance from the bar. Nice transition, hit that handstand. Last week watching her, she was very confident, and I loved it.
Yeah, put up that season best in the last meet.
Double layout dismount, good distance away from the bar. Call the plumber.
Call the plumber, the hat's going on. We've got a stick.
Good for her.
With your best performance, your cleanest performance, 2 for 2 for Brooke Albin in that regard, for sure. LaRusso, a 9.725 leading off. We'll see Sophie Durr, who tied for the lead last rotation for Arizona on bars. Season best shown there. Also her career best that came back on January 26th.
All of Arizona's vaults are Yurchenko full. Good amplitude, a little angle on the vault, but overall a nice, strong vault.
Anna Lee, first event of her senior night, starts right here.
I talked earlier about when I was speaking with Coach Butts, saying that she is, even though it's her senior year, she is the most improved gymnast this season, which I think is a huge compliment.
Well, and you can see the brace that she wears shows the scars that she's picked up in her Mountaineer career, but a very positive, very consistent, and another excellent routine from her.
Yes. She had an ankle injury on her freshman year, then she tore her ACL her sophomore year on her dismount on bars.
And we're right next to the bars. You can see the emotion in her eyes, big eyes, just taking it all in on senior day. Big hug from Kaylin Millick. Visited the camera people here right in front of us as well after that routine. We'll have to
that was cute.
Check social for that picture after this meet ends. Open at a 9-8 in the leadoff spot in front of Annalee. You see a 9-8 as well for Sophie Jarrett. This is Emily Mull. 9-8 season best, 9.85 career. Another solid effort from her.
That was.
9.75 the score for Annalee.
Arizona's vaults are consistent, even though Coach John said that vault.
So on paper, that is their weakest event, but still, I would take 26th in the nation most days when you're trying to fight in that top 16. Jaden McDonald up third for West Virginia, 9.775 season best you saw there. 9.825 her career best. That came just about a year ago, February 23rd of last year.
Release move right here. Made me a little nervous on that catch. She had those go-go gadget arms on for sure. Just the dismount here. Another strong routine. You can see right here, the Tkachev, woo!
Yeah.
It's a little far fingertips.
Last joint, but she hangs on.
The transition from the high bar to the low bar, I think because of the Tkachev, was a little off. She had a little leg separation right there. But she didn't fall. Lifts up her head, really presses on the ground for that landing.
Really cool to do that too in front of a lot of family and friends that came up from Cary, North Carolina. The Fatheads were waving in the stands as she came back up towards the beginning of the vault line there. Here's Julia Brown on bars for West Virginia.
Good blind on top. Nice Jaeger. Nice open hips on that handstand, just the dismount. Let go a little early on that dismount. You can tell by the ping on the bars and how the double leg did not rise.
We'll see that here in the replay.
Right there. She could have held on just a little bit longer, got those toes up. But overall, another hit routine for WVU.
Abigail Martin's 9.825, the top vault for Arizona in that fourth position, but we'll see if Allison Fears can beat that. Her season best, as you saw, was just a hair above that at 9.85, 9.9, the career best for the senior vaults. I would imagine when you're doing the same. Oh, yeah, really strong out of that fifth position. We'll see Emma Strom post things out. But again, Arizona's put up 5 scores that they'd be happy to keep. Now it's just a matter of can you get some cherry on top with that 6th score and drop the low score right now, which would be a 9.725. And it fell right off. Have to engineer that for next year to make it fit a little bit better.
I think we talked about a strap, right?
Yeah, a strap would make sense.
Right underneath the chin.
Some Velcro of some kind.
Block. She kept a great shape in the middle of her twist. But she stayed with it and had a nice landing.
Trinity Macy came in as a transfer this year, and you can see she's really excelled in this event in particular in the pair of event wins. That could be the kind of person who won that anchor position after a 9.875, a career high tying best from Amber Lowe in front of her.
Nice piked Jaeger straight into a overshoot. Strong dismount. I think she was a little disappointed in her transition from high bar to low bar, but she made it work.
talked about how Trinity Macy's come in as a grad student and really added a lot of positivity and joy to the atmosphere in the gym at practice.
Yeah, she's the hype, the cheerleader for the team.
Exhibitions to come for both teams. We're going to have a pretty big display for Arizona.
And with an exhibition on bars, what about the air?
Here's how the rotation looked for Arizona. And again, another strong effort in an event where technically this is their weakest, 26th in the nation, but able to put up a couple 9-8 plus scores. The 9.825 from Abigail Martin leading the way. Here's bar exhibition will close out the first half of this meet. Caitlin Skeel, the freshman from Pittsburgh, competed in this event back on February 9th, but mostly it's been exhibitions for her this year as a freshman.
She had a huge Tkachev, here it is. Oh, that was beautiful. Good transition from high bar to low bar. Beautiful handstand, just the dismount.
Last time she competed here, she fell.
Yes.
So that's a big confidence boost for her to do that routine so cleanly today. Exhibition gets the plunger hat, but here was the scores that counted for West Virginia. And again, consistency across the board. They'll drop a 9.7. Amber Lowe tying the career high with a 9.875 to lead West Virginia on bars in this rotation. So the Mountaineers able to go 12 for 12 on their routines so far through the first two rotations on vaults and on bars. Jason Butts will be joining us momentarily here. Step aside here for the story for West Virginia. She will win the bars title with that 9.875 that she posted just a few minutes ago. So now we'll switch to this side. Beam for West Virginia, 4 for Arizona. The Mountaineers have been good on beam of late. Season best of a 49 that came back on Groundhog Day when we had Florida and Utah here. Average is a 48.570. Arizona on floor, good as well. 23rd in the nation, averaging a 49.16. Season best of a 49.375. Mountaineer beam lineup is their youngest one. You start with a senior in Anna Lee, follow with 3 sophomores and 2 freshmen.
Those sophomores, they love putting those sophomores right in line.
And we'd see even more if Journey Lane wasn't banged up. Arizona, John Court, talking with his gymnast before this rotation on 4. Here's the lineup opposite for Arizona. 3 seniors, a junior, 2 sophomores here in the 3rd rotation for them.
I'm excited to see Elizabeth on floor.
Yep, LaRusso has been very good. 9.85 on Valentine's Day, season best of a 9.9. Mountaineers will once again start with a senior. The first 2 rotations, it was Brooke Albin, vault and bars. Here it's Anna Lee, who competed earlier on bars in the 2nd spot for the Mountaineers.
Gearing up for her series. Back handspring layout, step out. Little wobble, but caught herself. Beautiful combination right there. Side aerial. She moves very well on the beam. Nice little unique dismount right there.
I think the amazing thing with her is she's so good with the brace on her leg. I mean, that has to really mess with your balance to have a brace on your leg like that.
And it looks like one of the thicker braces too.
What makes that dismount unique?
Well, a lot of gymnasts usually do gainer back, like a back full gainer going backwards. She does it front. So that's why it's different and unique, and you don't see a lot of it.
Over to four, Elizabeth LaRusso. We were talking about her just a minute ago. Really good gymnast to have in that lead-off position. 9.85 her season best, 9.9 her career best.
Starting off with a punch double full. Round off 1.5, punch front lay. We will see tons of those today. That is a popular floor pass for all athletes. It's very pretty though. Ending with a Rudy.
Elizabeth LaRusso leading off for Arizona with a strong four routine.
On beam for the Mountaineers, Carly DiCello.
Take another look at this second pass.
Round off 1.5, hips are open. Front layout, good landing.
Then the third pass.
Punch front 1.5. Nice step back. Good balance.
West Virginia gets a 9.575 in the lead-off spot on beam from Anna Lee. Here's Carly DiCello. You see what she's done on vault already. Excellent today. Also has a podium placement on beam. Looking to double that total in her final home meet of her freshman year.
Good fight on that. That is a triple series. That is a very hard series. Back handspring, layout, step out, layout, step out. A lot of gymnasts do just one layout, step out. And as you can see, she was a little bit on the side of the beam, and she still stuck with it.
Speaking of sticks,
Yep.
excellent landing.
Another stick. Oh, and waving that plunger hat.
And on it goes.
On floor for the Wildcats, Allison Fears.
Let's look at that dismount again.
Here's the dismount, round off 1.5. You can really tell that she looks for the landing. On vault, she looks for the landing. On beam, she's looking for the landing, and that's why she can stick so well.
How much of that is instinct and how much of that can be taught?
I think it's a little bit of both, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. You have to be have a lot of air awareness, space awareness. Feel your gymnastics.
9.8 for LaRusso leading off on four. Here's Allison Fears. Has a 9.9 this year. That came at the end of January. That was also her career high. So like we talked about with some of these senior gymnasts, it's really cool to see career highs and bests coming in your last year.
Round off 2.5, that was very pretty. Her lines are very pretty. Her hips are nice and extended and open when she tumbles. Even in her leaps and jumps. Very pretty pass. Beautiful routine.
It's got to be a good feeling when you do those passes and then your dance is also right in sync with the music.
That was a round off 2.5. Oh, here it is. Round off 1.5, punch front full. Where previously a lot of the gymnasts do round off 1.5 punch front lay. She adds a full twist at the end, which raises the difficulty.
Amber Lowe, you saw it there, had a meet last week. Career best on bars and beam. She tied the career high on bars today. See what she can do on beam. The Chell in front with a 9.725. Another 9.8 on for Arizona and Fears.
Back handspring layout, step out, solid landing. Beautiful connection. She looks aggressive. She looks confident.
Really had to perform early as a freshman last year, and I think we're really starting to see the fruits of that as she moves through her sophomore year.
Another great routine by Amber. Gearing up for a dismount here, round off 1.5. Small hop on the landing.
Well, we're going to see.
Very happy though.
Going to see a couple more years out of Amber. We're going to see a couple more years out of this sophomore as well for Arizona. Sophie Durr up third on 4.
Nice height on those jumps. Watch her feet. Completely extended, and every time she lifts up her foot from the floor. Beautiful legs.
Sophie Durr finishing up on 4 for Arizona.
It's a good routine.
Second pass here. And then the third pass.
Punch front layout.
See her coach light up as she comes towards the corner.
Yeah,
so
because
cool.
you can see her shoulders were a little bit behind her, so her front full didn't have complete total rotation.
For the Mountaineers, Julia Brown.
Another sophomore who's done some of her best work of late on beam, Julia Brown, 9.85 season best, career best of a 9.85 as well.
Back handspring layout, step out. There's another triple series. And it was solid. Switch leg pike jump. Just the dismount. Round off, double full, step dismount. That was a very pretty dismount.
Hat for her as well.
Her triple series, handspring, layout, step out. Her eyes never left the beam.
Really good to see these sophomores continue to improve as the year goes on for West Virginia.
Every time they get up and compete, they are going to get more confident. Round off double full, beautiful punch. Great height.
That's one very happy salute as well.
Yes. Like a sign of relief.
Amber Lowe had a 9.775 in front of her. Sophie Durr doing the same on form for Arizona. And now Abigail Martin, who's had an excellent meet. 9.85 back on January 31st was her season and career best for the sophomore. So we're gonna see these sophomores for a couple of years. Arizona and West Virginia have a lot to look forward to.
We are. I'm excited. So she had a step, over-rotated that and kind of fell and put her hands down, so that's going to be a 5/10 deduction.
Have to, first two pass. Something that Coach John Court talked about was scores have been good, but we've also had a couple of mistakes, a couple of falls. That's really the first one of the night for them.
They have other competitors, huh?
That's right.
Could be a score that they could drop.
Yep, absolutely can drop that score, and a little bit more pressure on Emma Strom and Emily Muller behind her. Hey, another sophomore, Kaylee Adams, 9.85, season and career best, coming back on Groundhog Day. Sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina.
I love listening to their song choices that they choose while they're up on the beam.
What was your normal go-to?
Mine was Tom Petty.
I like it.
Yeah. Mine was Tom Petty one year, and then it was Freak Bird. Oh, she completely missed her back foot on that layout step out.
So she'll get back up and finish the routine. So West Virginia now will also have to try and get rid of a fall. 9-1, by the way, the score on 4 for Martin. So that will be one Arizona would love to get rid of, but doors open there for a second for West Virginia. But now Adams will have to take a lower score than she would like.
Gainer dismount. We'll step forward. Nice strong finish.
Another look at the dismount. When that happens, what do you kind of tell yourself mentally when you're trying to regroup?
The first emotion that you're going to get is kind of a little bit of a disappointment. You don't expect to fall, you don't want to fall for your score, but also put that pressure on the people behind you and for your team. What I do tell myself is that you still have the rest of your routine to do, and you need to make sure that you finish it strong.
Then the next important thing is the next gymnast has to get the momentum back going. You've got a Gilwin and Emma Strom to do that. 9.925, her season best.
You can tell she likes to have fun out there. Last pass right here, round off 1.5, punch front full. Beautiful stuff landing.
You can see why she's a high scorer. Really good dance
Yes.
to go with that those gymnastic moves. Look at the first pass.
So punch front Rudy to a huge layout step out. Stuck, nice step out. She should be very happy with that routine.
West Virginia will hand a competitive debut to Eden Webster to finish off this beam rotation.
This is an awesome opportunity for Eden as a freshman to go last. Huge.
Coaches are always evaluating, but especially after you just had a fall and there's a little bit more pressure on, really good chance to see what Eden Webster can do with that pressure.
Absolutely.
Able to save that one.
It's hard going after a fall.
Once again, able to save it. See Abby Pearson in the background. Hands clasped, watching Eden Webster.
Looks like she just has to dismount. Round off 1.5. Small step backwards.
But for a debut, you save it twice, solid dismount, you take that.
Yes, absolutely. Freshman debut coming after a fall. That's a lot of pressure, and I think she did very well.
Meanwhile, Emma Strom, as expected, really filling in after the fall, after the mistake for Arizona with a 9.85. Emily Muller will bring us home on floor for Arizona. 9.9 this year on Valentine's Day, 9.925, her career best.
Opens with a double pike. Beautiful double pike. When Coach John was over here talking, he was saying that, you know, we're saying what motivates the team, and they said each other. If you see them over there, they're all dancing, doing each other's routine. He said that there's not really one person that really hypes up the team. They all feed off of each other.
That's probably better, right? Because then if the one person who usually hypes you has a bad day,
Yep.
you don't have to rely on that.
And also when you're feeding off the whole team, and he even said something about they feed off the coaches as well. But when everyone's in it, all in it, and you can tell that everyone is in it and excited and motivated, it's more of a team atmosphere. Finishing with a round off handspring double tuck.
Excellent from
routine.
Emily Muller. Yep. Arizona will now be able to drop that mistake. Count 5 good routines. Another look at this pass.
Round off double pike. Was a little high, but what she did to save it was kind of stall it out just a little bit and wait just a little bit until her feet hit and then punched.
See the 9.4 for Eden Webster, so the Mountaineers can drop the 9.125 for Kaylee Adams. Julia Brown leading the way with a really strong routine, a 9.825, and that rotation for West Virginia.
For the Mountaineers, Emma Wary.
And we'll see Emma Wary come back. She's missed the whole year due to injury. She will exhibition on beam.
Yeah, she had coming back from a shoulder injury.
Really a gymnast that was trending towards being an all-arounder last year. Really consistent performer. Adding her back to the lineup late after you've had to lose a couple gymnasts due to injuries. Really big.
I was watching her warm up. She's very precise if you look at her hands. Her toe point, her extension in her feet when she does her jumps.
Had a 9.9 in this event last year as a sophomore. So a lot of ways to use that exhibition, right? You can kind of use it to get a new gymnast into the flow, get a veteran gymnast who's been injured back into the routine.
I think the exhibitions are great, just for experience.
And like you said throughout, it's another data point for the coaches, right? You know, it doesn't count, but you get to see them compete in front of a crowd, that atmosphere, the adrenaline flowing. And Emma Larry does a nice job.
She does. She did a front gainer full.
Let's look at the beam scores again. Mounts Juniors will drop the fall for Kaylee Adams, the 9.125. Eden Webster makes her debut with a 9.4. And again, Julia Brown following another strong routine from Amber Lowe to lead the way for West Virginia in this third rotation. Emily Muller, by the way, with a 9.825, the second best score of the floor rotation for Arizona. They will also have an exhibition.
For the Wildcats, Olivia Childs.
This will be Olivia Childs, and very similar to what we saw from Eden Webster. This is a freshman trying to fight her way into the lineup. She has not had a score count yet, so an exhibition to work her way towards that. Another North Carolina native on this roster from Holly Springs.
I do like Arizona's floor choices. They're upbeat. Round off handspring, double pike. Beautiful switch ring.
Also a great chance for a freshman to get some practice on the road as well, getting used to a different atmosphere, different sight lines.
Punch front layup, front full. Slight bent knee in the front full. Gearing up for her last pass. Round off handspring, double back. Left her hands on the floor on that handspring just a little bit, didn't get her chest up, so it wasn't very high double back, so you can tell on the landing. It's a little low.
4 scores to the 9-1 for Martin Lafall, and the last pass will be dropped, and everybody else very good. 9.775 is the lowest score you're counting for Arizona. 9.85 from Strom coming off that fall. 9.825 in the anchor position from Muller. Good work again from Arizona. And again, consistent scores, not all over the place, very much around that 9.8 range and a little bit higher in some cases. So West Virginia sees their deficit extend to over a point now. 146.825 for Arizona, 145.8 for West Virginia through these 3 rotations here at the Coliseum. Look there at Arizona on beam. This is their best event. They are 17th in the nation, averaging 49.085 on the year. Sees the best to be 49.3. And you can see why with 3 seniors in there, plus a junior, a freshman, and a sophomore. Fierce, all-rounding once again tonight will lead things off. Also helps that you've got a national champion on your coaching staff. Taylor Spears was the 2014 NCAA Beam champion for the Gym Cats. She's now on the staff as a coach.
Leading off with a senior on beam.
9.9, 2 weeks ago, her season and career best for Allison Fears.
A handspring layout step out.
But she comes off. Immediately back on, but now the pressure falls on Arizona. Now they're going to have to go 5 for 5 to keep this from counting.
She's had an off day today, and that's okay. It happens.
Especially when you're doing all around. That's a lot of wear and tear.
Most of her 4 years at Arizona, she has competed all around.
Yeah, sophomore year was the only year she didn't do an all around at some point. Freshman year, she did most of it. Junior and senior year has been every meet for her.
And we have to remember, just because it's senior meet doesn't mean that they're not going to compete again. They still have 6 more meets.
Yeah, if you go through all the way through NCAAs, absolutely. Good dismount, though, from Fears to close out after the fall.
Round off 1.5. Presses those toes down for that stick.
Brooke Albin, ready to go on 4. 9.825, back on Groundhog Day. Her season best, career best of the 9.85 that came last March.
This is Brooke's favorite event. She loves competing floor. She loves her routine this year, she said. And she loves tumbling. Punch front lay, punch front full. She said one of her favorite memories from her 4 years is her sophomore year when they rented a limo and they were all jamming out in the limo.
I feel like that had to be a loud limo.
Finishing up with a round-up handspring double tuck. Big smile on her face.
Like you said, you can tell she has a passion for this event. Once again, finds the camera.
Yep.
That's an important skill towards the senior, too. Where's the camera? First pass here for Brooke Albin.
Here's this round-off back handspring double pike. The extension in her hips on the takeoff, which is awesome. You can see the height. Here's the last pass, round-off handspring double tuck. Stuck landing. Huge smile at the end.
Big hug from Kaylin Milk, who, even though it's the cold meet and they're wearing black, still finds a way to sparkle.
Yes. She was questioning the red lipstick. I'm glad she went with it.
Behind the scenes information there. Gianna Lynchner, we'll see for the first time on beam for Arizona, the junior from Wisconsin. That's against that we come for, right? Not just the choice of gymnastics move, but also the choice of lip stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That handspring layout step out. Again, she's competing after a fall. So the pressure is on for the Arizona State team.
It's got to be tough too when you haven't competed all meet to step in after a fall. But she's doing well.
She's doing very well. Side aerial, solid. Oh, even a little look at the judges. You can tell she enjoys competing beam. She looks very natural up there.
It's the only event she's done, but she's done it well for Arizona. 9.85 this year.
Round off 1.5 step.
Again, the response Arizona wanted comes. Let's look at the pass from earlier in this routine.
It's our backhand spring, layout, step out. Her weight was on her back foot a little bit, so that's why her front foot came up just a little bit, but.
Brooke Albin leading off the 9.725 from West Virginia. Now we'll see Taylor Toohey, the freshman, looking to build on a 9.775 2 weeks ago.
Opening up with a front handspring, front double full. Beautiful combination. Looking for that 180 split. Very nice control on that landing.
Taylor Toohey finishing up.
A great combination right there. She seems very happy with her routine. I love watching her. If you're looking at her feet, every time she's on releve, her heels are very high off the beam. Round off 1.5, dismount, small step, probably a 1/2 tenth.
Look at an earlier pass with the beam. This is great for a freshman breaking into Arizona's best event.
That was a very strong routine as a freshman. Again, small step back. Probably like 1/2 tenth the judges will take on that.
Taylor Toohey tied her career high with a 9.775 in the second spot for West Virginia.
I like seeing all the freshmen.
So Amelia Rock with a 9.775 in her debut. Top score for Arizona through 3 gymnasts. And now we'll see Emily Muller, who's, as you saw, excellent in this event. 9.95. Coming back on January 26th. It's also the night she posted her best career all-around score of a 39.425.
Emily works beam like she does floor.
Able to save that one, though, so Arizona's going to have to count a fall.
They are going to have to count a fall. It's a very difficult series.
And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. This is the team fighting for one of those seedings in the top 16. They're going to take a low score today with that fall.
They are.
So now it becomes, can you beat the 9-1-7-5 and have that be the score of this drop? A little decimal point here and there.
It's all going to depend how she finishes her routine.
That's the sport, though, right? Your two seniors fall, and your freshman making her debut has their best score so far.
Yep. Round off 1.5. Step backwards.
And you heard the roar from the crowd. A 9-9 for Riley Manis on floor. Another look at the dismount.
Small step backwards. Remember, when you're landing forward, you want to take a step forward if you have to take a step. So taking a step back means that the rotation was not fully completed. So the step went backwards.
So Riley Manis beat her career best by a full 0.1. It was a 9.8 coming in. She posted a 9.9 today. And now you've got Amber Lowe, who's probably been their most valuable gymnast in this meet. You see the podium placement she's had this year. She's happy. She's ready to go in that 4th position for West Virginia.
Yeah, I do believe Amber does win MVP today.
Amber Lowe.
Tied her career best on bars, strong on beam. What was she doing for?
Beautiful leap combination. Getting ready for her 3rd pass. Round off back handspring, double pike. Beautiful. Ending with a double pike at the end of your floor routine is very hard.
So in senior day, the sophomore has been so good. Amber Lowe, another look at her first pass.
Here's that round off handspring, big double tuck. Finishes a little bit low, but that's okay. And here's her double pike. Very nice.
I saw the smile. She knew it was very nice.
She knew it.
So you can see Arizona obviously is now a gymnast ahead with that 8.925, but the gap is really tightened. So now there's some pressure on Arizona. You fall again, you might not win this meet. Emerson Smith, up fit for West Virginia on 4. 9.85 last week was her career best, earning one of those 3 podium finishes. Freshman from Westerville, Ohio. So you lose Albin and Lee from this rotation. The rest of this group is going to be together for 3 years.
Yep. Just think about all the experience that they are getting.
And then you hope you get Journey Lynn back healthy next year. You hope Emma Waring can continue to rehab. You've got a really nice lineup looking at next year. 9.9 one beam for Dietz.
That was a great routine. It's a beautiful leap combination from Emerson. The height that she got on those, she doesn't rush any of her jumps. I'm excited for the freshmen to really come into their own and get to watch them over the next couple years. Punch front lay to a Rudy.
Emerson Smith, as Washington continues to be very strong in this fourth and final rotation on floor. Emerson Smith's first pass right here.
This is a round off full in. This is a difficult pass.
And then the final pass.
Emerson's the only gymnast on WVU that does.
It's not going to be enough for West Virginia to win this meet, but I think this 4 is something really big to build on. When you can drop a 9.75, their next lowest score was a 9.775. They had 3 of those. And you get a pair of 9.9s from the freshman Manus and the senior Lee. Exhibitional and beam for Arizona. West Virginia will also have an exhibitional on floor. Finish things up. And a fall there for Arizona in their exhibition. So again, this is their best event coming in. 2 falls that count and then an exhibition fall.
Man, even if it's the best event or you guys have scored well, you just never know what's going to happen.
And that's why road scores is such a big part of the qualifying score, because it's one thing to do at home, it's another thing to come in a place you've never competed before and do the same thing.
Exactly. Come on.
Able to save that one.
Yes. Her emotions are probably very high right now. She just needs to take a breath, take her time, work through the routine. Even though the score doesn't count, it's still a lot of pressure to exhibition because you're trying to show your coaches that you can compete and do a good job.
Good dismount. So that will close the book on Arizona's day. As we take a look at their beam scores from this 4th and final rotation. Again, 2 falls. They dropped the 8.925 from Muller. Fears is 9.175 will count. But then you finish really strong. Dietz gives you a 9.9, Martin a 9.875, as she bounces back nicely from a mistake on 4.
With the first of 2 exhibitions on floor for the Mountaineers, Trinity Macy.
So a pair of exhibitions from West Virginia, starting with Trinity Macy, the grad student who's arrived in this program this year, started at Pitt, went to Eastern Michigan, and now finishes up at West Virginia.
Just like Brooke, she also loves competing floor. She said before every meet, she has to listen to loud music and drink an iced chai latte.
Where she came up with that is the routine. That's very specific.
And then during the meet, she likes to snack on Skittles.
So what I'm getting out of that is sugar helps her on floor.
I think so.
She wants to travel after she graduates. Ending with a punch front Rudy straddle jump.
Exhibition complete for Trinity Macy. Four scores for Wesleyan. We mentioned the career high for Riley Manis. Beat it by a 0.1. Came in with a 9.8, posted a 9.9. Anna Lee in that anchor position, doing what she does best, just short of that career high of a 9.95, posting 9.9 even. And again, you put Albin in kind of at the last minute. She gives you a 9.725 to lead out this rotation. I just feel like West Virginia has to feel good about this group going forward, this 6. You know, probably, maybe you change the order a little bit, possibly, but I think you have to feel good about that group going forward.
I agree. It has a lot of depth, and again, we have sophomores and freshmen that are just going to get more experience and more confident. I think WVU did a very good job coming off of beam to floor, keeping that, finding that momentum.
I think if you're West Virginia, you look at this and say, we're a little bit better on beam. We win this meet. You put a 9.75 in for that 9.4, and you do win this meet.
With our next exhibition on floor for the Mountaineers, Julia Brown.
Julia Brown, who was so good on beam in the last rotation, will get a look on floor in the exhibition after a 9.725 exhibition.
Front handspring double full. Didn't get that completely rotated. Let Helen fall, put her hands down. Round off 1.5, punch front lay. Not enough height on that front lay, so she had to sit that down.
Still an exhibition, so you get to try some things and try and be aggressive, so something to build on for Julia Brown.
Yep.
As the exhibitions conclude for West Virginia. So let's break down a bit more how we got to this point. Mountaineers winning floor with a 49-125. That's just off their season high from 3 weeks ago. And again,